Hey, what's up everybody, Richard Gaming Guy here. Today in this video I'm going to show you guys how to set up Batocera on your Steam Deck. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to open up our web browser on our regular computer and we're going to navigate to Batocera.org. Once you get to the Batocera website, we're going to go across the top to the download tab. We're going to go ahead and click that. Once it loads in, you should see Steam Deck over here on the far right side. Currently, it's listed as intermediate. Used to be beta, now we're in intermediate. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to click on the direct link tab right here. That's going to automatically start your download. You're going to notice it populate in the top right corner. I'll go ahead and click it for you guys, but I'm going to just cancel that because you can see in parentheses it says 1 because I've actually already downloaded this just to speed up the process here. But this should take you about 18-20 minutes or so, give or take, to completely download. So I'm going to pause this again because I've already gone ahead and downloaded this just to save a little bit of time. So I'm going to open up my files here, navigate over to downloads. So here you can see it's located right here. So you're going to want to have 7-zip or any type of software that you can actually unzip with. So since I have 7-zip installed on my computer, all I have to do is right click here. I'm using Windows 11. So with Windows 11, you have to go down to show more options. If you have Windows 10, you'll likely see 7-zip listed on this initial drop down menu. So here you can see 7-zip right here. If you just hover over 7-zip, we can actually move over and click on extract files. The process for extracting is very quick. Just go ahead and confirm OK. It's going to start unzipping everything. Should take about 10-12 seconds, give or take. So we'll let it do its thing here. And there you go, 11 seconds, 12 seconds, 13 seconds. All right, and there you go. It actually took 17 seconds to fully extract that. So now you can see we have the regular image. Here we have the unzipped one. I'm going to double click on this. Inside here, we have the actual disk image file listed right here. I'm going to actually just move this over to my desktop just so I don't have to go into all of those files and locate that. It's just going to be a little bit easier. So I'm going to X out of this screen. And here on my desktop, you can see I have Balena Etcher over here on the far right. You want to go ahead and download Balena Etcher. It's a great software. It installs very quickly on your computer. So we're going to open this up. Just going to double click on this. So here we have opened Balena Etcher. So we're going to go over here and we're going to click on Flash from File. So we'll click on that. And because I added it to desktop, it populates right into my desktop here, which you can see has very few things. So we're going to locate our disk image file. So if you saved it to downloads or documents, go ahead and locate it. Click on it and click open. It's going to populate in right here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on select target. But before we do that, we want to take our micro SD card and insert that into our computer. So if you have a read and write slot on your PC, just go ahead and insert your micro SD card into that slot on your PC. If you don't have one of those, you're going to want to pick up a USB reader and writer. It's super easy. They're really inexpensive. I think about 10 to 15 bucks, give or take. I'll put a link down in the description of this video. You guys can click right over and get the exact one that I use on Amazon. But you're going to insert your micro SD card into your PC, again, either through that USB reader writer or directly into your PC if you have a read and write slot. So I've just connected that. You hear it confirm. Go ahead and click on select target. It should automatically populate in here. So I'm putting this on a 1 TB micro SD card from SanDisk. That's located right here. It says generic. Don't worry about that though. I'm actually using a SanDisk. So go ahead and check this box and click on select. It's going to bring you back out to this page right now. Now we're going to click on flash. It's going to give you a little confirmation prompt though once you click on flash. Here it is. It says, warning, you're about to erase an unusually large drive. That just means that anything that is currently on your micro SD card is going to get wiped away when you add this new file to it. I'm using a blank card. This is just the standard warning that you get on here. Just go ahead and click yes, I'm sure. Again, as long as you are positive that you want to erase everything that's already on there if you already have been using this in the past. So I'm not worried about it. It's brand new out of the package. I'm going to hit yes, I'm sure. Now we get this other prompt here because we're in Microsoft, and it says, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Yes, I trust this. I'm going to hit yes. So it's going to start the flashing process now. We have an ETA down here of about 3.5 minutes, give or take. So we'll let this do its thing. All right, so the process for flashing has completed. Now we're going through the validating process here. So you can see we're already at 29%. This is a really quick process. Should take about 1.5 minutes, give or take. So we'll let it do its thing. Come back once it's complete. All right, we're down to the last 3 seconds here, and we should get confirmation that it's complete once it finishes validating. So there we go. We have our confirmation that says flash complete. Make sure that you see that it gives you this confirmation right here that says flash complete, successful target. If you get an error message, then you're going to have to repeat this process. I didn't experience any issues with doing this on a micro SD card, but in the past I have seen a couple times where I did get a random error. They do happen from time to time, so just make sure again that you see flash complete here just to reassure yourself that everything did flash correctly. So that is all we need to do within Balena Etcher. So we're going to X this out now. So once we have completed that process, we're now able to take that micro SD card and actually connect it to our Steam Deck. But before we do that, I want to do one more thing on here, and you're going to want to have either a USB flash drive or another micro SD card, not the same one that you just set up Batocera. Make sure that it's a totally separate micro SD card. And we're going to actually locate our BIOS files for Batocera version 35. We're going to need these before we actually add games in and start diving in and enjoying our favorite games on Batocera on our Steam Deck. So we're going to go to archive.org. You can see I'm in my web browser here, archive.org, link in the description of this video. We're going to go down here, and I'll put actually a direct link to exactly what I'm going to bring you guys to. We're going to just type in, though, Batocera 35 BIOS and just hit enter. That's going to pull up the only option here. Again, I'll provide you guys with a direct link so you don't even have to go in and search for this on archive. We're going to go down here and we're going to go over to under download options. We're going to click this little download icon next to zip. It's going to fully download this. It's going to take you about 20-25 minutes, give or take, to completely download this. All right, so our BIOS files have just completed downloading. So we're going to go back down here to File Explorer now, and we are going to locate those. So go to Downloads, and here we go. We have our full pack BIOS Batocera version 35 files. So we're going to right click on here, and we're going to have to extract this. So we're going to go down to Show More Options, highlight 7-zip, move over, and click on Extract Files. We'll confirm that with OK. It's going to extract pretty much right off the bat here. Here we can see our progress bar. I didn't even have time to open it. It went so quick. So here you can see your zipped ones. Here are your unzipped ones. Let's go ahead and just delete the ones that are zipped. We no longer need those. If we double click on the unzipped ones, here you can see we have BIOS, ROMs, and saves in here. This is just an information document. If we open this up, it's going to tell you exactly what I'm going to show you guys here. So we can just actually highlight, and this is how I do it. You don't have to do this, but I highlight BIOS, ROMs, and saves, and I move it over to my desktop just to make it easier to access for this next portion of the video. So we'll X out of this now, X out of our web browser. So those are now on my desktop here, ready to go. And now what we need to do is we need to go over to our Steam Deck. We need to connect our micro SD card to our Steam Deck, get that booted up. It's a very specific process, though, in order to boot into Batocera. So let's jump over to the Steam Deck. All right, guys, here we have the Steam Deck. So I'm going to just tilt this back. Apologize for the reflections on here. It's a super glossy screen, and without it turned on any color on there, you're going to see some reflections. So down here is our micro SD card slot. Here I have my 1 TB micro SD card from SanDisk that we just installed Batocera on. So this is going to slide into the slot face up. It's going to kind of countersink in here, so you need to just kind of ease it in there, and then just with your fingertip, you'll hear it actually click into place. So now we need to power this on. Now there's a very specific way to power this on, so it actually gives you the option to boot directly into our micro SD card with Batocera. I've seen other videos on YouTube saying you just power this on and it gives you the option right off the bat. That couldn't be further from the truth. So we're going to tilt this forward. Up here at the top right corner, you're going to see our power button. Over here we have our volume controls. The volume control all the way to the left is the volume down button. So we're going to hit power and volume down at the same time until we hear the sound of the Steam Deck confirming that it's actually turning on. Once you hear that sound, you're going to let off of the power button, but continue to hold the volume down button. So I'm going to push both of these. There's our sound. Let off of the power button. Continue to hold down the volume button, volume down, and you get this screen right here. It's a little bit hard to see here. I'm unable to actually screen record this on the Steam Deck, so I'll read it to you guys. It says Boot Manager at the top, and we have three options. Our first option is Steam OS. Second option is the internal hard drive. Third option down is our micro SD card, which is the 1 TB card. We're going to select micro SD card. We'll select it with A, and it's going to start booting us directly into Batocera 35 now. It's going to actually resize the partition really quickly there. It takes a matter of like 2 seconds, and now we'll boot up into Batocera. So I'm just going to turn down the volume here. So now what we need to do is we need to go into our main menu. So we're going to hit this button up here on our Steam Deck. That's going to open up our main menu. Now I'm unable to actually screen capture this, so I apologize for having to film the screen here. We're going to lose some resolution. It's going to be a little bit hard to actually see some of these, so I'm going to do my best to outline this for you guys verbally, just so we don't get confused. So now we're going to go down to Network Settings. We're going to select Network Settings with the A button on our Steam Deck. And we're going to go down to Enable Wi-Fi, and we're going to select A. That's going to enable it. There's going to be a little delay here while it actually enables it. Once it's enabled, you'll get the two options below, Wi-Fi SSID, followed by Wi-Fi key. So we're going to go down to Wi-Fi SSID. We're going to select our Wi-Fi network, and then we're going to go down to Wi-Fi key, and we are going to enter in our Wi-Fi password. So remember, you have touchscreen on here, so you can type it with your finger on screen, or you can navigate the buttons with your analog stick. So go ahead and type in your password for Wi-Fi. When you're done, just move over to the check on the right hand side here and select A to confirm your password. Just double check that you've spelled everything correctly before moving on. Alright, so I just entered in my password. So now I'm going to go down to back. I'm going to hit the A button to actually go back. It's going to take a couple seconds to actually confirm everything that we entered in here and actually bring us out of our network settings. And here we get the confirmation that says Wi-Fi enabled. We'll confirm it with OK. And now if we go back into network settings, you're going to see here that internet status is listed as connected. Now, right up at the top, it's going to list for you your IP address. Make sure that you write this down. So write it down exactly as it's displayed here. Make sure that you get all of the dots in the actual IP address correctly. It can be a little bit confusing. Make sure you copy it 100%. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to back out of our main menu and set our Steam Deck aside. We're going to now jump back over to our regular computer, and we're going to remotely access all of our file system here on our Steam Deck, so we don't have to worry about transferring over any files or game ROMs by connecting directly to the Steam Deck. We're going to do everything remotely now, so we don't have to worry about flash drives, micro SD cards, or how we're going to move all those files over manually and physically. Everything's going to be done through our Wi-Fi connection. So you can go ahead and just slide this aside. Do not power this down though. Do not disconnect from your Wi-Fi network. Leave it exactly as it is here and just jump over to your regular computer. All right, here we are back on our regular computer. We're going to open up our File Explorer. Now up at the top, you're going to see this little bar. You're going to click on it. It's going to highlight Quick Access. Just backspace that out. We're going to click backslash, and now we're going to type in our IP address exactly as it was displayed in our network settings on our Steam Deck. So we're going to type that in right now. Once you have your IP address typed in, go ahead and hit enter. All right, so once we hit enter, we are going to see this enter network credentials screen pop up from Windows Security. So what we need to do here is we need to enter in our Batocera username and password. So by default, your username is always going to be root, R-O-O-T, and your password is always going to be Linux, L-I-N-U-X. Once you've entered in your username and your password, go ahead and click on OK. All right, so here you can see we have full access now to our Batocera file system on our Steam Deck. So we're going to double click on our share folder here. This is where you're going to access all of your files. So we need to add in our BIOS files for Batocera 35. We save those over on our desktop. So over here on the left-hand column, I'm going to exit out of my network share here, and I'm going to just click on desktop. Here you can see BIOS, ROMs, and saves. We're going to highlight all of those, and we are going to drop down with a right click to show more options and click on copy. Now, if we go up to the top here and we backspace that out, we can hit our backslash. It's likely going to populate in your IP address up here at the top. Go ahead and just hit enter. It's going to bring you right back into your file system. And now if we double click on share, go ahead now and click on any of this open white area here. Right click on it. Go into show more options and now click on paste. Now we're going to be actually uploading those 3 files into our Batocera file system. So it's going to tell us how much time is remaining on this file transfer. It says for me about 13 minutes. That will likely fluctuate a little bit. So we'll let this do its thing. We're going to come back here once it's complete. All right, so that process just completed here. Now, if at any point in time during this process, it asks you if you want to overwrite existing files, just select yes. The reason it's asking that is because these 3 folders that we just added in actually already existed in our file system previously. They just didn't have all the files within them. So now if we went in here and we clicked on BIOS, for example, we double click, now you're going to notice that we have all of these BIOS files added in here, whereas before it was going to be completely empty. So everything has obviously transferred over. So all we have to do now is just X out of this. And we're going to jump back over to our Steam Deck, and we can go through the process now of just updating our games list. That is going to actually bring all of those changes onto our Steam Deck for us. And at that point, we can start adding in our ROMs and bringing all of our game collections to life on Batocera on our Steam Deck. And the way that we will actually access our ROMs folder is the exact same way that we just did here. And I'll demonstrate that actually before we jump over to our Steam Deck and update our games list. So we're going to go back into a File Explorer. I'm just demoing the process for you guys here. I'm not going to actually add any ROMs right now. We're going to go up here to that bar, backspace it. We're going to do our backslash, enter in our IP address. We're going to go up here and double click on share. And now we can go over to our ROMs folder right here. And now you can see we have folders for each of our collections within Batocera. So if we wanted to go and add a GameCube game, for example, we would obviously download the ROM, have it on our computer, we would copy it, and then just go into GameCube, and we could just right click in here and paste it right in. Same for any of the collections within here. If we had a MAME game, for example, we would double click on MAME, bring in all of our MAME titles into this collection. Same with any of these. PS2, for example. Paste in whatever PS2 ROMs you want to bring in over here. They would transfer directly in here. We'd X out. We'll jump back over to our Steam Deck, and we could go through the same process that we're going to go through right now over there of updating our games list, and any of those changes to the file system will add directly in over onto our Steam Deck. So we're all set here. Let's jump over to the Steam Deck. All right, so here we are back on our Steam Deck. I'm just going to back out of our main menu completely. We're going to go back into our main menu up here, and our second option down on main menu is our game settings. If we hit A for game settings, the top option is update games lists. We're just going to hit that, confirm it with yes, and it's going to update everything on here. So now our BIOS files and everything we just added in is going to be on our Steam Deck's Batocera. Same deal if we went in through that process that I walked you guys through a couple moments ago of adding in ROMs. If we added in MAME ROMs or PlayStation 2 ROMs, GameCube, whatever ROMs we wanted to add in, we did all that through the file system. All we have to do here on the actual Steam Deck is open up main menu, drop down to game settings, confirm game settings, and then hit update games list. We're going to confirm it with yes. It's going to do the same process there, and now if we added in those ROMs, they would be located in our collections. Now you'll notice that we don't have PlayStation 2 or GameCube populating in here. The reason for that is we don't currently have any of those games added on here. The only reason that we have these collections that are listed here is because when we do our initial install of Batocera, it actually gives us a title for each of these collections. So in here for Super Nintendo, we have Classic Kong. If we go over here to Game Boy Advance, in here we have Space Twins. So if we added more games, there'd be more games populating in there. So that is the entire process here for getting started setting up Batocera on our Steam Deck. All right, guys, you can see firsthand, this is the entire process for setting up Batocera on your Steam Deck. Feel free to hit me up in the comment section below if you have any questions. If you enjoyed this video and you found this helpful, please leave a thumbs up on the video. It's a huge help to me here on YouTube. And of course, hit the subscribe button to stay in the loop for all future videos here on the Retro Gaming Guy YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.